You know that moment when you realize your boyfriend isn't who you thought he was? It doesn't come in flashes or signs. It crashes in like a wave, all at once. Mine came over dinner at my parents' house, while cheesecake baked in the oven. And by the end of the night, my dad would be dead, with a dessert fork buried halfway into his throat. Full story. I'd been seeing Alan for just over 2 months. He was charming, kind, and always made me laugh. The kind of guy who remembered my coffee order before I even said it. We met at the shoe store where I worked. He came in looking for running shoes and left with my number. He wasn't my usual type. Tall, older, tattooed, but something about him just felt safe. So when he started insisting on meeting my parents, I agreed. Big mistake. That night, Alan showed up right on time. My mom greeted him at the door with a warm hug. She always played the perfect host. He thanked her politely and followed me in. I kissed him on the cheek and brought him to the dining room, where my dad was already sitting, beer in hand, half focused on his phone. But as soon as Dad looked up and saw Alan, everything shifted. He froze, like he'd seen a ghost. Alan extended his hand to greet him, and my dad just stared at it, didn't say a word, didn't move for a second. Eventually he raised his hand and shook it, but it was forced, awkward, cold. My dad was a retired cop. I expected him to be a little guarded, but this was different. He looked scared. Dinner started off bumpy, but my mom helped smooth it out. She asked Alan about his family. He said they were immigrants and he grew up in San Antonio. My mom perked up. We'd lived there too before Dad's transfer. They bonded over the city. Alan even made her laugh a few times. But my dad? He didn't say a single word. He barely touched his food, just kept staring at his plate, pale, twitchy, sweating. After dinner, my mom got up to bring out dessert, her famous cheesecake. I offered to help her, hoping maybe my dad and Alan could talk while we were gone. Spoiler, they did, and it was worse than I could have imagined. In the kitchen, I asked my mom why Dad was acting so weird. She said maybe it had to do with some bad news he'd gotten that morning. 2 of his old police buddies had died last month, one in a car crash, the other in a fire. She said it shook him up more than she expected, but still, that didn't explain this. She told me to go ask Dad where he'd put the spatula while she finished the topping. So I walked back to the dining room, but the second I stepped in, I froze. My dad was crying. Not quietly, not tearing up, sobbing, head in his hands. And Alan, still seated, still calm, still staring at him like a predator watching something bleed. I set the dessert plates down and asked what the hell was going on. That's when my dad looked up, tears running down his face, and whispered something I'll never forget. "This isn't fair, I was only doing my job." And then Alan's voice changed. Cold. Hard. Calculated. "You mean when you framed me?" I didn't understand. Alan kept going. 15 years I rotted for something I didn't do. Every cop I questioned said the same thing. You gave the orders. My dad looked destroyed. "I didn't know, Alan. I didn't know the truth." Alan leaned forward, smiling. "You'll have time to think about it." Then he turned and looked at me. Really looked at me. His eyes weren't the same. Gone was the sweet guy I'd fallen for. This man was something else entirely. Unrecognizable. That's when my dad grabbed my arm, tight. His voice dropped low. "The spatula second drawer in the pantry." I stared at him, wide-eyed. "Dad, what are you?" "Second drawer," he growled. "Now!" And just like that, I remembered. The Glock. He kept it there. Always had. Always said retired cops were paranoid for a reason. I turned and walked out of the room slowly, feeling Alan's eyes burn into my back. But the moment I was out of sight, I ran, straight to the drawer, loaded the Glock, ran back, ready to stop whatever was happening. But when I got there, Alan was gone. No sound, no trace, no front door open, just silence. And my dad, still in his chair, head down, not moving, not breathing. A dessert fork was sticking out of his neck, halfway in, blood soaking his shirt, and cheesecake still baking in the oven.